Not long after having arrived in Sweden, you will arrive at one of the oldest national parks in Europe, Abisko. I first visited this area back in 2018 on my first solo backpacking trip on the Kungsleden Trail. When entering the park, there's a memorial of the trail, including all the stops you have passed as you hike through the mountains. My favorite stop, of course, being Singi, the namesake of my dog Singi. But that's a story for another time. It was truly wonderful to once again find myself back in this area. I left a piece of myself here when I visited the first time, and it brought me immense joy to reunite and find that my love for this great place had only grown over the years.
Singi, ikke så stærkt. Singi, vente.
Another thing about Abisko is that it is quite accessible, meaning I could share it with my mother, who's been dealing with a leg injury for the past year. We spent the day exploring the valley, hiking along the river, enjoying the autumn sun, had lunch with a great view, a recurring theme of this trip, and just enjoyed one of the last days of sun we knew we were going to have in a while. To have Singi, my Singi, with me here also fulfills something in my heart. I have, ever since I got her back in 2022, wanted to bring her here. Her name, Singi, comes from this area as I mentioned before, and in a sense, her soul does too. She is a mountain dog. She loves nature and being outside, and to see her in her element, my element, being so happy and content. Words cannot describe the happiness that brings me to witness. I'm sitting down by Tornetrask, the huge lake next to Abisko National Park. We've driven a bit, not that far, like 15 minutes or so. It's a really lovely evening. Singi, she's tired. I think she's starting to get a bit tired of being on road trip holiday. But now that we are in Sweden, we are in the last stretch of the journey. We arrived to Sweden today, and then tomorrow we will stay in the area, and then following that we will head to Kiruna and then go south. And at some point we will, of course, reach home in Denmark once again. It'll most likely be like a week or so, but It's really lovely being back here. I went here like, what was it, 8 years ago on my first solo hike back in 2018. And this is the first time I've been back since it's so far away. And it just stirred up so many memories. Hiking through Abisko today with my mom and seeing all the sights and the mountains in this area, just it felt like coming home. The journey I took back in 2018 was sort of a soul awakening for me in regards to the north and how wonderful it is up here. Before that I had hiked on the West Highland Way and in Iceland, and I've been to Canada, but this region just holds such a special place in my heart, and it's so great to be back here again. I hope to visit again next year for a hike with Singi, because it's just great being here. It's such a pretty night. I've wanted these colors the entire trip. We had them in Finland, we had them in Finnmarken, but as soon as we got to the west coast of Norway, which is the only coast they practically have, everything was green. No autumn colors, no orange, no yellows. So I was sad, but now I have my pretty colors again. And the sky is so pretty right now. I'm taking a time lapse of the moon. It just rose behind me over that mountain. Hopefully it'll turn out pretty. But in any case, I have my phone to record a bit and take some pictures, and otherwise I'm just enjoying the fresh air and staying out here. I love being in this area. I love being here so much. Oh.
Hallo.
One thing in this forest, we are in a nature reserve, just in sort of the area between the mountains and the countryside, if you can call it that. These forests are kind of special because, as you can see, the trees are not that tall, and that's because we are this far north, and it's an alpine region despite us being not that high up, and everything only grows to be 4-5-ish meters tall, depending on the tree. It's mostly birch tree. And it's so fascinating to see, these trees are old and they look like young trees, or old young trees. It's really fascinating to walk among. I'm out photographing a little bit. Hopefully we'll have some auroras tonight. The forecast is pretty good, it's clear skies. I'm not sure I'll hike out to this spot, even though it's pretty close to perfect location-wise, but it's through a pretty dense forest and a pretty crappy trail, so I don't feel like doing that in the dark. So I'll probably make do with the parking lot we're staying at. But it's so lovely out here. I don't really understand the forecast right now because it's supposed to be like 10 degrees, but I'm so hot. I know I'm wearing a sweater, but still it shouldn't be this hot. So I don't know what's going on. The colors here, wow, they are so great. And Sinky is so bored with me. I'll almost say she loathes when I'm photographing or doing my photography thing. It's hard speaking words, but yeah, it's fine. It's so great out here. I could just stay here forever, but then again, right now it's sunny and great weather, great autumn weather, but in tomorrow, the next couple of days, it's supposed to be really rainy, and the temperature is supposed to take quite a dip, where we'll head south tomorrow to some other spots we want to visit before we go home, and the temperature around there should be like around 0 degrees, so let's see if we see any snow. That'll be fun. But yeah, I need to get back to doing my thing, and then back home to the van to have some dinner and relax a little bit before the evening. But now I'll just go enjoy all these lovely colors for one more evening. After a couple of days in this area, we started heading south towards Jakob. We spent some cozy days in the van where we had finally managed to pick up some sort of routine, meaning everything felt easy and simple and truly enjoyable. Near Jakob, you find one of the biggest waterfalls in Europe, Storfossen. It stretches over a distance of 5 kilometers where it drops 82 meters, 60 of these being a single waterfall. While clearly geared to many tourists, we had the area largely to ourselves. It rained and you could feel the ground tremble from the force of the water as it rushed by. Just outside of Jakob, we found our shelter for the night, a nature reserve called Seri, where the rain finally managed to catch up to us. I'm taking Sinky for a little evening stroll in the rainy forest. We have camped in a nature reserve pretty close to Jakob. It's a rainy evening and Sinky has found a feather she's chewing on. It's a real change of pace after I think 18 days without rain. Almost 18. But it's super calming to just walk in this soft rain. Of course, it's a pity I can't fly my drone, and I probably won't take out my big camera, but it's still nice. It's so nice out here. Love these woods. Sinky. Så sukker. Øj, hvad var det for noget? Skal du have sådan en? Oj! Wow! Wow! Du får ikke ting til 1200 kroner, skat. Det er kun mor, der gør det. It's the next day. The rain has stopped. It's so nice out here. Come, Sinky, let's go. It's a really lovely morning. Bit wet, my boots are soaked, but it's so gorgeous out here. There's leaves everywhere, it's orange. It's so great. The air is so fresh. It's like the perfect temperature. It's like, I think, around 5 degrees. Absolutely perfect.
I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. I felt the earth beneath my feet. Sat by the river and it made me complete. Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. I came across a fallen tree. I felt the branches of it looking at me. Is this the place we used to love? Is this the place that I've been dreaming of? Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go? Talk about it somewhere only we know. This could be the end of everything. So why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know. Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go? Talk about it somewhere only we know. This could be the end of everything. So why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know.
Today we head south, even further south. We have quite a bit of driving to do today before we get to Sticking Rock and the Wilderness Road, and then hopefully the weather behaves. It's pretty gorgeous right now, so It was left like rocks on this small parking lot next to the road. Right now I'm out walking Sinky. Then we need to pack up and then we head on. It's so beautiful this morning. The most amazing foggy weather.
Sinky. Kom, Sinks. Kom. Sinkis. Kom, Sinky, lad det der være. Kom. Sinky, kom nu herud. Kom.
The Wilderness Road is a road that stretches through forests, rivers and a mountain plateau of Stekenjokk. I've been here many times before and I love coming back each year. You simply get everything when you drive here. Solitude, stunning nature and plenty of fresh air. We spent some time by this river, enjoying the sunlight and the wild scenery. Even though I'm pretty sure Sinky found the whole thing quite boring. She does not find it amusing to take pictures and stare at flowing waters for hours on end. But what can I do? It's what brings me joy and yeah, she managed. Originally, it had been my hope that we could sleep one night up in Stekenjokk, but the weather wasn't too great and we had a long drive ahead of us the next day. Suddenly, the pressure of us having to actually be home at some point had started to materialize, and I did not care for it. Fortunately, we did manage to catch a few dry spots in between rain showers, where the lovely wild landscape opened up for us. After leaving the mountain plateau, the Wilderness Road takes you through stunning forests and beautiful lakes and waterfalls. While I was sad we didn't get to spend the night in Stekenjokk, this actually meant I got to camp on a spot I had driven by many times before, but never had the chance to stay at. It's always either been too early in the day, too rainy, too windy, too something, but this time I managed. The next morning, Sinky and I did a bit of exploring along the shore of the lake. It was a quite beautiful morning and we had no rush to move on. It would be yet another day of many hours of driving, so why hurry? While we were exploring, Sinky heard the car door being shut and I'm fairly certain she was sure we were about to be left behind, as she started barking and somewhat panicking. It is funny, of course not for her, but it is funny that Sinky is by no means a dog that loves cars, but when we are traveling, it is more than clear that she is aware of how important the car is, as it is both our home and our lifeline. Luckily, my mother walked over to us not many minutes later, assuring Sinky that she in fact had not driven off without us.
Hørte ikke uden os, Sinky, det var det, jeg sagde.
I think Sinky at this point had decided that this was our home now. Until the car started, then she was quite ready to board. We left the wilderness road behind and continued onwards south towards home. We still had some days of driving left, but the weather was supposed to be quite rainy and windy in the coming days, so we had to alter our plans a bit. We had hoped to drive by Flatrude and Ljungdalen, but that would have to be another time, as it is not that funny when it's raining and too windy to even have the car open. However, I did suggest that we drove home over Idre and Salen, as this is a quite beautiful and serene drive. So we went. After a wonderful drive through the autumn landscape, we were lucky enough to come across the perfect place to stay this one last night. A small rest area next to the river. The surrounding area was in full autumn bloom, and I spent more time out with my camera than inside the car. I simply cannot get enough of these landscapes. They speak to me so clearly, and I have a hard time turning my back on them. I'm just by the road, and I'm hiding because I don't like when people see that I'm doing my photography, and I think they can see me anyway. I'm pretty obvious. No, they couldn't see me. Great. I'm hiding. I don't like being watched when I'm photographing and running, frolicking around on the moors. It's such a pretty night. Can't believe I got lucky with this kind of weather when the forecast just said rain, rain, rain. And the cars are gone. Last night out here. Tomorrow we leave the mountain area for real and head on home, which is also going to be good. I think there's another car coming. I need to hide. It was a bus, and I think they saw me anyway. Oh, this is stupid. Oh. Anyways, beautiful night. Perfect for photographing and just enjoying being outside. I almost didn't quite know what to do with myself. I was tired, but it would be our last night out, as we would drive back the long stretch home to Denmark the following morning. So I didn't want to close my eyes to all the beauty that surrounded me. So I spent many hours wandering around the nearby forest, staring at the river and taking it all in as if I should never see it again. And in some way, it felt like nature felt the same way and wanted to offer me comfort, because the next morning was one of the most beautiful I think I had ever experienced. What an absolutely magnificent morning. This is a perfect send-off. It's like, it's so pretty. Oh, and we have Sinky out here. She wants to go get breakfast. I'm busy with my camera. It's so wonderful out here. Absolutely. I have no words for this morning.